Against this right back, Charlie.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on.
There's always just that active red light defenders. I think it's like. There's always just that active red light defenders. I think it's like. There's always just that active red light defenders. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on.
Are we live? Finally live. No technical difficulties. I hope you all can see me and hear me loud and clear. I apologize about yesterday. It was out of my control, but we're back in full effect, as some would say. People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in, whether you're on Twitch or if you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're getting your opinions in. You set your notifications to on. You've hit the like button. And most importantly, you've pressed the subscribe button. Twitch gang, you can do all of that apart from the like button as well. Don't forget, people, that tomorrow, 6:45, an hour before kickoff, because kickoff is at 7:45. I'm doing a watch along for Arsenal versus Wolves, or better yet, Wolves versus Arsenal. I think midday kickoff is City Brentford. That should be a decent one. So I'll be live 15 minutes before kickoff for that one as well, people. So yeah, I mean, we're going to be doing World Cup watch along, so I'm not going anywhere, people. But I am a bit sad. Obviously, we know there's a bag of football to be played and we're back in December, but it just feels like there's going to be some sort of void left, people. But it is what it is, man. We're back again, man. Appreciate you, man. Just said to Mudryk, Tarns, Jimmy, shout South Africa, Danny, the mob boss, and Justin, and the rest of you. Appreciative to you lot involved, man. Report saying no bids gone. Well, that's poured cold water and everything, but as I always say, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. Whether it happens or not, it's all Chinese whispers in it. Some people are going to say it's happening. I believe Romano, if he said his cap, again, obviously, how can I formulate this into a sentence? Now, obviously, Mykhaylo Arteta with the bulk of the players, big up to all the players at Arsenal that are in the World Cup. The bulk of the players are going to be in Dubai training, ticking over for the season and whatnot. But you must imagine that, obviously, you're doing your training, but in terms of it being January in a couple of months, surely this is the right time, if you haven't already, to be dotting I's, crossing T's, faxing, emailing, seeing what can be done in the transfer rumors. So rumors will probably pick up again. At the same time of saying that, nothing's decided really. I don't work for Arsenal, but I don't really believe the 50-odd million pound bids and things like that. But all we can do is go over the headlines, really and truly, man. Love the JA Tugs tuned in. It probably is just chattings, really, because if you say Arsenal's bidded, then everyone else who legitimately might have been forthcoming with an offer is going to get a move on and whatnot. What you saying? You got the YouTube pattern CeeLo. Oh my days! If only you knew. If the amount of emails, the amount of help centers I was in yesterday, the amount of turning on and off I was doing, I was vexed. I can't lie. I was thinking, raw. Have they spliffed the channel? What's going on? Why is it working on this and not that? Again, I'm in the helpline, and obviously it's not his fault, but the guy is talking to me like I'm a dickhead. Like, forgive me for my language. Like, have you tried turning it off and on again? Have you tried, deleting the settings and bringing them back? Like, what do you think? You think I'm just here for no reason? Like, you think I'm shouting you for no reason? You think I want to be doing online chat things with some next don that I don't know, all-inclusive platform? But we got there in the end. I don't even know what we did, but it just started working. I was vexed last night. I was like, fuck this. Let me try one more time. And I did a private stream and I could obviously see and hear myself. So I thought today it should be working. In fact, just before I went live, just now I've done the same thing. So I have no clue. Twitch was always calm. Like, Twitch was always good. It's just the YouTube thing was a madness. I thought Chujuli got his licks back for a sec. I mean, I heard that. I might have thought that as well. But what's Chujuli going to do to me? I ain't done nothing. Even though obviously he shouldn't have been an idiot and there'd be nothing to talk about, man. Really. Can't lie. It's a bit mad though that he's lost his Twitch. That's obviously you knew he's going to lose 1-2 sponsorships and things like that. Obviously, shout out to Rants. We did a stream on Twitch yesterday. I've kind of cut up a couple of clips regarding that subject. It's a bit mad. On one hand, I do believe people deserve a second chance, but it's not for me to decide. I do think it is very excessive that, you know, the Twitch thing is gone. But who am I to consider that? Like, the platform's gone, really. That's a bit mad. And, you know, like Chief Keef says, get money and stay out the way. Because if he was doing them two things, he'd be all right now, innit? Really, if you would just mind your own business and drink water, it'd be calm. Like the Soca song says, man. GBG thing, man. Aye, Sacco, chill out. You shouldn't be getting at anyone. Generally, if you mind your mouth, behave, conduct yourself in the right way, then it's all calm. And I would say, obviously, some people, I don't believe in necessarily, even if someone says something derogatory to me, my family, my race, my religion, you know, again, this is what I mean about, I can't tell people that enough's enough. If people want blood or people don't feel it's enough. But there are some people that, you know, for any time something happens with anyone that just smell blood, won't stop until he's living on the street. And I don't think that's right. Every man and woman, even if they was racist to me or whatever, deserve to eat in it. You know, you deserve a couple punches to your mouth, but you do your thing in it. But at the same time, people are just not going to stop for blood, and it raises in question when is enough, really. You know, again, if you were just shutting his mouth, none of that would have happened, man. But yeah, and again, you know, nobody should be getting at anyone for anyone's religious, race, or background, man. Please behave ourselves. Let's be serious. I don't see Mudryk sitting on the bench, mate. Realistically, if he was to join Man City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool, any of these big European teams, you're going to hold bench until or be a rotation option. When you've been linked with Sevilla, Nice, respectfully, Newcastle, because Newcastle on the up and going to trouble the top six, you're going to play week in, week out. You accept it. It's like Sunday League. If your brethren tells you come to his team, there are several divisions above the one you're at, and he says you got this ball or that ball or the other, it's going to be more competitive. You know this. So you have to either relish that or keep it moving. Shout out to the Latino brothers and obviously Al Mourinho going from strength to strength and keeps telling Jack Grealish, quite frankly, to suck his mum, really, with his form, really. He's on to him, man. All right, come on, don't please, man, them bake or people are getting AM. Get guys out of here, man. Don't know what guys are on, man. Generally conduct your business with respect and be a decent human being to one another. That's what you got to do, bro. That's what you got to do, man. Mudryk is still a kid. Is he going to hit the ground running in the Prem? Probably not. But as you've seen with certain players that do play in the Prem, that's moved from one team to another, obviously there's a lot of variables. Jesus has hit the ground running, but in many ways, you could say there's been struggles on the goal front where people wouldn't say that. Better examples, Raheem Sterling, Cucurella, these sort of guys have moved from one Prem team to another, not really seeing much now. Chelsea, there's a bit of a tax collectively because no one's really doing their business apart from Thiago Silva. But it doesn't matter if you've come from the Prem, if you come from abroad. There's, you know, some people will come from abroad like Bruno Fernandes, not so much now. When he joined in January, he hit the ground running for United immediately. Shout yourself, Brian, the better Brian. Again, it's good to see that the tech issues are gone. I was not happy, bro. Not happy because it cost me the chance of being with you. Like, shout out the Twitch one because we did a little stream. We improvised in that, but it's still, man. Arteta has a good track record with wingers. Let him cook with Mudryk. He's doing his thing right now. Just bring players, innit? I can't lie to you. I will want wingers and stuff like that, but for me, the priority has to be midfield. Like, listen, big up Xhaka, big up Partey. Anything happens to either one, we're in trouble. And obviously, if Partey's not there, you're not going to see the kind of Xhaka you've seen generally this season. If Xhaka's not there, it might harm Partey to a degree. And then, obviously, I'm throwing in El Nene next just because you kind of know what you're getting with Mohamed El Nene. Even our latest defeat against Brighton, watching the game, not end of the day, we lost throughout the cup, whatever. But El Nene was one of the brighter things. Fabio Vieira, Lokonga didn't take opportunities. As with Saliba. Let him cook. Bring him something, man. Smith Rowe to return. I mean, Arteta's done his thing with the young players. You know, he's keeps Saliba's getting better and better. Gabriel, our centre-half's improved. You know, he's got a tune out of Martinelli to a higher standard. You know, Eddie Nketiah might not be the best example, but, you know, he's gone from being rightly or wrongly a spare part to still a spare part, but a squad player. Martinelli's been called up to the World Cup. Saka gets better and better every game. Smith Rowe prior to his injury. In fact, on the topic of Saka and Smith Rowe under Mykhaylo Arteta, you know, they dropped their first double-figure seasons. Now, shout out to Emre because he blooded all of these kids, but Arteta's taking it and finessed it. So, yeah, man, I've got full faith in him. You signed Jesus. Fits us extremely well. The only problem is, can he score enough goals? So I give Arteta the credit where talent ID comes into it, where, like you said, coaching, everybody makes mistakes. You know, Aubameyang new contract, Willian, stopgap signings of Marie and Cedric have not necessarily worked. Could we have kept Herrera or Guendouzi or one of them? Could one of them been thriving in this team right now? You know, have we always done everything we've needed to do in the transfer market? Has there been naiveties from the players, from Edu, from Mykhaylo Arteta, from the owners? Of course, we win, lose and draw together, and there'll be many more of these positive and negative rhetorics throughout the season and so on and so forth. But definitely the last two what was I going to say? The last two transfer windows in particular, I give Arteta the benefit of the doubt. Not even benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't think that's the right term. I think the signings have been good. I can see why everybody's been brought to the table. Some players have done better than others. Some guys, you know, Lokonga not really seeing much. Teething problems still there with Fabio Vieira, but I can see why they've been bought. Tomiyasu sourced correctly, 50 million on Ben White. Going to be a long-term centre back in my opinion, but in the medium term to short term, doing your thing. And actually, for me, you've got obviously Jesus could play out wide. If we brought in another striker, Jesus could play out wide. You know, you've got Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu based on playing left back, Ben White, probably Martin Odegaard, Granit Xhaka, just based on the different sort of role that he's been playing this year, let alone this season. When you've got players that are actually good, I don't mind them personally, my opinion, them playing in other roles and doing things. It's when you've had Willian, he can't even be a winger right now. He's playing up front and we're shoehorning other dons into the team. I like what Arteta is cooking, really. We're in the right, you know, we're going on the right road. We've got a long way to go, but hopefully we keep pulling in this direction, and hopefully, you know, we're going to get into all the transfer tosh and all of that stuff in a sec. But hopefully, you know, a couple more signings, we get Champions League football for next season, and we can start building things really. You know, Liverpool, rumours of new owners, Newcastle scaring everyone. You know, it's a top 6 thing. Soon it's going to be a top 10. Soon all the teams in the Prem one day are all going to be able to win the league and all get relegated. So we've got to remain competitive. We've got to remain adaptable and fluid to our project. And ultimately, we've got to keep moving. You know, it sounds obviously everyone develops at different rates, but some people are going to get cut loose, have to get cut loose, really and truly. Because next season, you know, the 10 changes that rocked up in that game against Brighton, and a couple of guys that have been playing in the Europa League, even guys that I believe in, you can't play. You can't play in it. You could maybe if we qualify game week 5 and 6 of the Champions League, God willing, we're there because it's not done yet. You know, you're not going to be playing. You know, some people will not touch Arsenal's first team until probably this time next year, where you see everybody's playing in the League Cup, and then in January, depending on who you've got in the FA Cup. You know, again, I'm a big fan of Fabio Vieira. I do like the way Mykhaylo Arteta was defending him, but there might be a scenario where you may have to go on loan if you're not showing certain things, or hopefully next season he starts cooking. I'm exaggerating with him. Definitely Lokonga. The next step is if you can't show something from now till the end of the season, you probably have to go on loan. You know, Ainsley Maitland-Niles scored a penalty the other day. Future's done. Nelson needs to keep showing what he can do. You know, he built on a positive appearance off the bench in the latest Premier League game that we played. Obviously, again, one of the probably only bright sparks is the defeat to Brighton. So just keep going, man. Sorry if you're making a timestamp here so far. Some water, man. I'm dying slightly. Keep the opinions on whatnot coming. Road to 60, road to 100, man. We're going for it. We're going for it. You think Jesus could play 10, Marty 9, and Jesus number 10. Raji. It's a striker wing thing. I don't know about you. Do your creative thing, Jesus, Brazilian and that, but I don't know about the 10 thing, man. Partey's position is the linchpin in this 11. We need a serious baller that's able to step in and deliver. Yeah, and if you can't play to Partey's level, just make it so that we don't miss him, really. And again, this is, I don't have any statistics, but this must be the longest Thomas Partey has been fit in an Arsenal shirt. By God's grace, I hope it continues. But if I was a betting man, I probably wouldn't necessarily bet on it, really and truly. So we have to keep going. We need to, you know, last season, one big reason as to why our season somewhat derailed is we didn't do the business in January. You look at them down the lane, you know, down the road. They brought in a couple of players together with, at the time, I think Conte showed his experience and consideration to Arteta, and kept his bottle, really. It kills me. For the one example, Spurs have showed bottle and we didn't. But away from looking at the micro, the short of it is they brought players in that gave them a boost. We didn't bring people in and we let players go that were squad players. Ainsley went, Roma, Chambers went. There might even be 1-2 others, which tells you everything. And we didn't protect ourselves really and truly. Like, again, even in the game against Brighton, respectfully to Rob Holding, because he nicked in front to allow Reece Nelson to do the little dancing thing and Eddie Nketiah to score the finish. But there's respectfully to him, there's quite a drop-off, really. You know, I'm playing Tommy. If we need if it's 3 points or die, Tommy Ashley's playing centre-back before Holding for me. Ben White, obviously. Gabriel, obviously. Saliba, obviously. I like Holding, especially when we're in a back three, but it's suicide to be relying on these guys. There has been times, obviously, in an Arsenal shirt, before he got that injury at Old Trafford against Rashford, where Holding looked really good, but he's a squad player, nothing more. And I was watching that game against Brighton, the replay, and again, Elneny don't really deserve the straight because I think he's a class above them in terms of squad players. But you know, we made 10 changes. Saliba started the game, and if you focus on to a degree Elneny without doing him dirty, Cedric on the left hand side, Holding through the middle, you know, we was relying on them at the crunch period of the season. Now they played a part in their own little individual ways when we started putting in a little runs of form last year, but it's suicidal, really. So we are getting depth, but we don't really have that depth. And for me, I don't want to rely on these guys when it's crunch time because, again, it's almost unfair to them because I know you can't do it. Like, you ain't got it in you. Shout out Holding, you know. Shout out to you for what you... Do you know what? Holding might be the guy, you know, really. We're playing Wolves. Make sure you've hit the like button on the Wolves watch along. We're playing Wolves on the weekend. Diego Costa might play some capacity. You know, Holding goes down in Arsenal folklore along with Monreal, who was at the Emirates the other day, and our head of youth development, Mertesacker, you know, back free tax. They pocketed him. So maybe we need him, but I personally think there's too much of a drop-off when the first choice or the top three centre-backs aren't there. And one does wonder, you know, had we have got Lisandro Martinez, who obviously could provide competition / start ahead of Gabriel and whatnot, what it would have meant for Holding. Homegrown purposes, he probably would have stayed and been registered, and he's almost one of the captains and he's a valued guy as seen in the All or Nothing. But reality is, Holding can't get us back to where we need to be. Holding, I like Holding, so I'll give him it. Can just about be a competent squad player, but do I necessarily believe that in my heart? Probably not. It is what it is, man. What's going to happen to Lokonga if we bring in Danilo and Tielemans? If we bring in both in January, then boy, Lokonga could go out on loan. I personally would keep him because I think we need bodies, but you could sanction a loan. From what you hear, it looks like Danilo could be done in Jan, Tielemans done in the summer. So it's, you know, Lokonga, Reece Nelson, Marquinhos, they've had from August injuries in that, but they've had from August till January / the end of the season to make a name for themselves. Simple as that. You got to make a name for yourself, man. Lokonga loan or sell. Rather look at Mud in the summer car. 52 million on a potential thing is Brazy and Jan. Yeah, and then there's a steady Eddie, man. Ben White is brilliant at press conferences. Has he been speaking again? Just got a new hustle. First time in a week I've seen the stream. Big up DG, who we signing. I wish I could answer that. Not a damn clue. DG, have you seen Neymar reacting to Martinelli being called up? I might have to load the Brazil agenda. It's light work, man. Real recognize real. Crazy to think this is Van Dijk's first World Cup. Real. What level do you see Marquinhos playing if he's loaned out? I mean, truthfully, I don't know. You want to see him playing in the top 5 league. Maybe, you know, send him over to company in the Championship. But when he was going to sign for Wolves, they were going to loan him to Zurich. So I don't know. You read into that what you must. Preferably like to keep him in England, but I don't know, man. People taking this Lacazette Jesus comparison too far about Jesus doing up 10. That's mediocre, man. He's up front / wings. Niles has already built his line in Southampton. He can go. You're doing him dirty. We should get Maddison, DG. People saying we already have enough number 10s, but he can play on the wing. Plus, he's better than most of our 10s. He can play as an 8. I'd bring Maddison. He's contracted until 2024, but I think we need more of an out-and-out 10. And I think Maddison, a bit like Paqueta, it'd be a lovely signing. He's probably a player that's got a bunch of admiration at Arsenal, but ultimately, and got a swagger and an X factor and all of that, and could be a match winner. But it would probably be a luxury signing. I just wish we signed Guimaraes, man. Definitely not with the penalty he took the other day, but yeah, man. I mean, Cedric can keep it moving. Big up DG and the nation. Would you be happy with picking up Mudryk in Jan and waiting for Tielemans until the summer, or should we go all out for a midfielder and a winger in Jan? I need to see a midfielder in January, man. I can't lie. I need to. Ain't Diego Costa suspended? I don't have a clue, mate. I don't have a clue. He got a red the other day. Well, yeah, he's running from the grind. He's running from the grind. Holding soft. Nah, man, he's better than Cannavaro. I mean, Holding's one of them. He's not really good, but I like him, man. You just don't need to play week in, week out. Don't know why people want to spend many bags on Mudryk, but again, it's that risk. And I mean, if Arteta's done his due diligence and Arsenal do what you're doing, because you either, Arsenal can't win. It's either people and their nan, everyone and their nan, you got to buy him, you must buy him, you buy him, he flops, you wasted money, you leave him, and then that 50 odd million, 30 odd million, whatever they're asking for, it looks cheap, and we're saying, why was we so slow to react? Every player's got a price, and if we're genuine, mistakes happen, but if we're genuinely convinced, then get it done. If not, which I'm not too sure we necessarily are, to me, my personal opinion, not that I have any evidence, it feels like with Mudryk, we're a bit in wait or see mode. If we could do it for an affordable price and a certain sort of deal and all of them sort of things, then why not? But as you know, it comes with a premium in today's day and age, man. So it all really and truly depends on what they're saying, man. Oh, what's going on here? Sorry, folks. Fair enough. Thank you very much, YouTube. No worries, no worries. Shout out the Twitch ones as well, folks. So yeah, man. Moving on. I'd rather spend 50 to 60 on Mudge than the 70 spent on Pepe. Okay, but we don't really know much with that. And at the same time, we didn't spend 70 up front with Pepe. There's a lot of variables. I would like to know the true cost of Pepe, but we never gave them 70 million up front. But I hear you, man. Holding's not soft, he's meaty, but someone who will sell you a shit PC, but have a great personality. Shout out the Bronx. I think Neymar's reaction was a surprise. I don't know, man. Was waiting till the summer for Tielemans. This waiting till the summer for Tielemans is too much of a risk for me, because when he's available in the free in the summer, he may get a bigger move. Liverpool's midfield is weak right now, for example. Listen, if we bring a midfielder in and then cover our bases, I'm cool with that. By all means, go for Tielemans. And if he says no, it is what it is. Even Real Madrid have had to deal with players for whatever reason saying they're joining, they're not joining, and things like that. It seemed like a formality that Jude Bellingham would be going to Real Madrid. Now, you read the papers in the last week, it seems like he's going City. Obviously, it looked like a formality of them to sign Kylian Mbappe and Haaland, and they might one day both join Real Madrid or one of the two, but they had to keep it moving. But you are right, it does present a risk, and we've been talking to him for time. You'd like to think we've sold a project, but yeah. Is Trusty being out of the US squad a surprise, DJ? I wouldn't say so. He's been playing quite well for Birmingham. I feel he can feel himself a bit hard done by, but a myth, man. If I'm completely honest with you. 58 likes, people. Can we get towards 100? DJ, I think it shows how our rotated players can't do the week in, week out thing. This season's schedule got them playing too often more than their ability can cope. Disagreeing, but I agree on the ability thing. But I agree on the ultimate factor you're saying is that we just need depth, better quality in depth, really. And it's only going to get worse next year because it's the Champions League. Respectfully, to a degree, you can't really rock up there with Cedric, Holding. Try not to say Nene, Carl Hein. Respectfully, these guys are not gonna bang. Ask Pep who he'd rather have between Odegaard and Maddison. He picks Odegaard probably, but it's irrelevant really because he can't have either right now, and I'm not too sure. I don't think he's better than Odegaard. I don't think either's clear of them. I like the fact that Maddison's more likely to get goals and assists and win games. But Odegaard, the IQ, the way he plays football, how important he is to that system. I think I'm not saying you need a certain level of intelligence to see it, but I genuinely think you need to watch the game in a different light or have a certain level of IQ to see what Odegaard does under Mykhaylo Arteta. Personally. Easy, do you believe we can win the title even with a good January transfer window? Define what you mean by winning the title. What I do believe in life is that we can fight. We need to take every game as it comes. The table doesn't lie. Allegedly, where Arsenal is. Let's just keep working hard, focus, and see where we're at, man. All I know is that I need Champions League football next year as a minimum. Let's just keep working very hard and seeing where we're at in May, man. I don't know what I don't know how to answer that question, man. It's very subjective, really. Political Palmer in full effect, man. Hope you're doing well and safe, S. So yeah, man. I don't think I've frozen. If we can do a Pepe kind of deal for Mudryk, then I can get behind it. But then again, Nice are, well, Shakhtar are a selling club, but Nice are more open to doing little deals and things like that. Shakhtar just on this, I'm going to sell to the highest bidder. Why are you sleeping on Madison? Who slept on him? I've just been singing his praises. What the hell are you on about? Define it, but define winning the title. There's many ways. Like, you know, I don't know. I really don't know, man. Like, we just have to work very hard, see what we could do, and then go from there, man. Swear down. You reckon, Gavin, it's not rocket science? I don't understand the question. The question is very subjective. What do you mean title? You know, in many ways, winning a title is having a team that reflects the manager. You know, I'm sure Arteta would tell you the same. Oh man, what do you reckon with Newcastle, Chelsea tomorrow? I hope Newcastle savage them, but at some point down the line, they've, you know, Chelsea have got to win a game again, unfortunately, which obviously I hope isn't tomorrow. But yeah, man, I got love for Ben White, but is he good enough right back for Champions League, or do we need a backup right back bar? Tommy, I would bring in another right back, nothing to do with Ben White or Tomiyasu. I just feel at some point there might be a cause for Ben White, pardon me, to have to shift back over to centre back, man. Doesn't really make sense. So it is what it is in that regards. But yeah, man. Bring me gusto, be lit. But yeah, that young man would have a lot to learn, bro. A lot to learn. F all these cups, secure top 4 and bring back the champs. What do you think of Nuno to Juventus? I don't really buy it, man. DGB going game by game, I have to respect it. No, bro. What in general? If I don't know, listen. The last time I checked the league table was in August, and Arsenal always start the table in August. So I can't tell you where Arsenal are at. But what good does it have talking about the title? I understand it. The fans can be excited, they can be passionate and things like that. And again, I suppose you'd want to dream, but the priority in the summer, and goalposts do shift. The priority was top 4. You know, don't think anything's been achieved yet. Just keep winning your games. Keep trying to better everything that you needed to improve on next year, and then we can revisit at a time. But right now, there's no help. There's no use in talking about that. Newcastle on the highest form is great for the Prem. Let it last and shake up the top 6. That ain't great for me as an Arsenal fan. More competition than that. I mean, I don't know for title contenders. You'd have to take it up with someone who could answer that question. I don't understand the question. Champions League contenders, yeah, I don't know for any of that. I just know there's a lot, you know, there's a case of how good are you at your worst? You know, what is the fixture calendar list going to say? What happens when certain players lose their form? Again, you know, when you've got a young team, it fluctuates a lot. Like right now, Gab Jesus, there might be a lot more question marks on his lack of goal scoring if Martinelli and Cole are not weren't bagging. You know, again, no one's really a goal scorer like that at Arsenal. You look at City, they've got goal scorers. They can muck out results. They're better than us as well. We can keep fighting allegedly, but there's a lot that goes into winning a league title, and there's a lot of conclusions being drawn based on a few months of Premier League football. Let's just keep working very hard. Whatever was our minimum goal in summer, let's make sure that's a formality. And then if you do qualify for the Champions League, when it is mathematically confirmed, by all means, dream of the title. By all means, every Premier League month that keeps coming, I want to hear you Arsenal fans keep talking about that. But what good does it solve Mykhaylo Arteta, etc.? Because, you know, we did see a couple of weeks ago a bit of complacency started creeping into our boys. And, you know, we've got 3 L's this season in all comps. Let's just keep working, man. You know, again, right now, if you did want to talk about a title, which I don't know for any of that. If it was me, I'd be saying right now, you need to focus to get into the end of the year, still saying these same things. From the end of the year, you need to get into March, early March, still saying the same things. From March, you need to battle into to April. And then from April to May, or better yet, when May starts, provided you've done all of this, don't let all your hard work be over, really. You know, let's just focus on still saying these same things after 20 games. So yeah, let's just see what's going on, man. I would love to see Arsenal win the league. I would love to. Some Arsenal fans ain't even seen that. So I would love to see that. But boy, it's gonna take a lot, and even then some. And it definitely, if you was to do that, you definitely have to bring people in January. Because as you know, Arsenal, we're our best friends, but we're also our worst enemy. But yeah, man. I don't pre any of that. I don't know, man. I don't know where Arsenal are at in the league table, man. So I'll leave that to you, man. I'll leave that all to you lot, people. Again, in terms of likes, can we get to 100 likes? We're at 71 people. Keep going. Twitch gang, you're doing amazing, people. You're doing amazing. On that, let's start looking at the just the talking points in the world of football, really and truly. What else is there to do? Latest news. Let's go with that. Where do we start? Got tab police are going to be on me. Let's go over there. Why have I got so many Twitter tabs open? All right, calm. Start over here, people. Let's start here. Sorry, folks. There we have it. Again, to start with everything, apparently a few days ago, obviously we'd have covered this yesterday, but apparently Mykhaylo Arteta, sorry, I don't know why this comment is still up there, but is what it is. Gravenberch not going World Cup. Edu pick up the phone. I mean, you went Bayern Munich. You knew you weren't probably going to play enough games. To be fair, Louis van Gaal's made some harsh calls, really. Big up Xavi Simons. He's in there. And Gakpo is as well. Probably a couple more zeros on their contracts. But, he's made some big calls. I think Kevin Botman of Newcastle's not in there. Count himself unlucky. I think Danjuma's not there. Count himself unlucky as well. The squad is very, very short. Arsenal boss Mykhaylo Arteta eyes January signings to boost push for silverware. Obviously, after watching his much-changed side slump to 3-1 Cat Yarabel Cup defeat and exit, better yet, against Brighton. We made 10 changes and we look like a team that made changes, man. Real talk, we can't start moving like Tottenham with just top 4 as a requirement. I hear that, but, when last did Arsenal get Champions League football? How long have we been out of it? You have to learn to crawl before you can walk and walk before you can run. So I hear that we're a massive club, we're a big club, all of that jazz, and want to win stuff. But realistically, you need to take step by steps. Of course, I want it to be a title challenge. Of course, Arsenal, even with all this nonsense, we still brought trophies home. I want to bring the FA Cup home. I want to get to the final of the Europa League, and I want to confirm Champions League football, aspire above that. But let's apply our common sense, man. And remember where we're at. Shouting, we deserve this, we're that, and it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't help anything. For a team that hasn't qualified for the Champions League football, which is a minimum thing for many people, you can't start talking about titles and that. Keep doing what we're doing, and at the end of the day, results make it a conversation. Arsenal fans aren't talking about it for no reason, but chill out, man. I can't tell you what to think, just think. Apparently, that's the squad that we have. We have to utilize in the best possible way, and today we came short, especially because we didn't do what we have to do in both boxes to win a football match. We paid the price. It's the same squad as when we win. I said from day one that we have a short squad because at the end we left some players. It's what we have, which again, that's on you and Edu. You lot prepare this team. We know as well that we have certain injuries and the squad is very, very short. We have tried to manage that in the best match, so no excuses. When pushed on whether January signings could happen, that's a window that is open, and we'll have to discuss the opportunities that we have, the capacity that we have for any changes, and to be on the market for opportunities because we don't know what's going to happen the last game before the World Cup. So a lot of options that are open. Fair enough, Mikhail. Getting straight into it, Arsenal ready to push for midfield duo in January, allegedly. Arsenal are ready to push ahead with their interest in midfield duo Youri Tielemans and Danilo in the new year. 90-minute understands. The Gunners have enjoyed a superb start to the Premier League season and surprisingly topped the table after winning 11 of their 13 games, dropping points against Man United and Southampton away from home. Scrolling down to what matters, people. Earlier this month, 90-minute revealed that Arsenal are ready to back Arteta in the January transfer window. Bolstering numbers in the squad is seen as a high priority. The Gunners' plan looks likely to include a bid for Youri Tielemans. 90-minute understands, who has already told Leicester that he won't be extending his contract that expires at the end of the season. He'll be able to leave on a free as a result, but a January bid from Arsenal could allow the Foxes to recoup some money. And based on his form, and Leicester turn their season around, it might be where they say, you know what, we really should sell him, and they probably should, but we'll just bite the bullet, let him stay for 6 months. It is what it is. I don't know if his focus will still be there, though, but, you're playing for a move. They even apparently are retaining hope of getting him to sign a new deal. YouTube and Twitch mods, please make sure we're on task with the spammers. So, yeah, apparently it is what it is, people. in that regards. A number of other teams are also interested in Tielemans. Man United, Liverpool, and you're seeing Barcelona links resurface as well, people. Hugo, I don't know what you're doing there, but all right, cool off, man. 1 second, people. Anywho, a number of other teams are also interested in signing Tielemans, though Arsenal are confident at this stage of bringing him to North London in 2023, be it in January or next summer as a free agent. And this is a serious long saga where Tielemans is concerned. Another midfielder Arsenal have been working hard on in recent months is Danilo, and sources have told 90 Minute that a January deal for the Palmeiras star is far more likely to materialize. Edu identified the 21-year-old last year as a player who could come straight into the Premier League and make an impact, and talks are understood to be at an advanced stage with the reigning Brasileiro Serie A champions. A deal for Danilo, who has made over 130 appearances for the club after breaking into the first team as a teenager, could even be finalized before the window officially opens, which would provide Mikel Arteta's side with a timely boost ahead of a hectic New Year fixture schedule. And I think that would be music to the ears, man. Yeah, it's trolling, man. It's just a timeout thing. Allow it, man. It's dead, man. Like it's not funny, man. But apparently Arsenal has an agreement with Tielemans and is waiting for the Red Devil, says this article. Arsenal have taken a position on a possible transfer of Yuri Tielemans. The Red Devil made another impression last match day after he scored a world goal for his current club, Leicester City. His contract expires this summer. Arsenal could therefore sign Tielemans on a free next summer. Arsenal don't usually spend that much in the January market, blah, blah, blah. Tielemans is a name associated with a move to the North London club, but Arsenal have apparently already announced their stance on the Belgian's arrival in January. Football.London reported in the summer before the transfer window closed that Arsenal were prepared to wait until Tielemans' current contract expired to sign the Belgian on a free transfer. Newcastle United and Manchester United have been interested in Tielemans, but the Gunners have had an agreement with the player for some time and are confident they can sign him to a contract next summer when he's available for free. And I mean, we've heard this bearing it to the point where last Jan, his advisors were at London Coley. So at this point, you're becoming the new Mvilla or whatever that guy's name was. So if Arsenal want to break the norm and make signings in Jan, Tielemans probably won't be one of them. And what is this? In England, they know for sure Arsenal must go for Tielemans. Google Translate, you're going to help me out? Boy, it did help me out, and then I didn't help it out. Boy. Well, I think this is Darren Bent's opinion. One love to Darren Bent, but I don't care about that right now, man. Arsenal have made an official, allegedly, 52 million in bracket 60 million euro bid for Mudryk and are now awaiting a response from Shakhtar Donetsk. Allegedly, people. And then this article has said, important acceleration and the possibility of closing the deal, a considerable amount for Mudryk. There is the decisive turning point. So, yeah, I'm tired of hearing about this guy, really. 8 goals and 7 assists in 15 matches this season. 3 goals scored in the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. He's got interest from everyone in their nan, Juventus. According to what our editorial team has gathered, in fact, the strong interest of Arsenal for the 21-year-old left wing of Shakhtar is confirmed. The Gunners have made an offer to the Ukrainian club and are now awaiting a response. Juventus transfer market Arsenal presses for Mudryk. After all, the Gunners have been working for months on the purchase of Mudryk, and now negotiations could enter the decisive phase. The indiscretions speak of a figure of around 60 million euros, not too far from the valuation that the Shakhtar, the next company, is suffering from. After all, the 21-year-old represents the best player at the time of Shakhtar, and again, you know, We've seen this already, people, where they're gassing him. We are not obliged to sell. We do not want to shoot figures that are not realistic. But in this team, he is the most decisive. If you want to take on players who make a difference in top clubs, you also need the right money. Arsenal, like practically all Premier League clubs, is among the companies that can afford certain figures. And the offer has been delivered to Shakhtar Donetsk. An answer is awaiting, but for the future, Mudryk can speak English, allegedly. So 2 and 2 and getting $1 million, really, as some of you lot said, Romano has come out and kind of quashed these things. As you saw previously, but the Shakhtar Donetsk, Donny said, Arsenal and City, they are 2 teams that have taken an interest in the player, but there are other clubs that can spend right away. Is 40 million euros enough to buy him? We do not speak to these figures, not even for 50. We do not even call the president to communicate the offer. We value Mudryk more than Anthony of Manchester United, who cost 100 million euros. So they're going to price Donny out of a move. Together with Mbappe, Leao, and Vinicius, Mudryk is the strongest player in that position. Allegedly, people. Once again, Shakhtar sources deny receiving an official bid from Arsenal for Mudryk. Arsenal, however, are still working on it. They want Mudryk and are in contact with his rep, so keep an eye on it, says Fabrizio Romano. Many big clubs are interested. It's still an open race as Arsenal haven't entered into direct negotiations with Shakhtar and are only in contact with the player's agent. So that's to probably dot I's and cross T's. And when they've been given some sort of level of encouragement, then they'll look to agree something with Shakhtar. But you can agree as much the length of contract, the money you'll pay him. If Shakhtar don't want to do business, as we've seen, there'll be issues there. My word, Spain squad looks a bit meaty away from that. As you can see here, Arsenal won to watch in 2023. Arsenal are still interested. Contacts ongoing since August, but no official bid on Shakhtar's table yet. The race is open. There are still other clubs. Shakhtar want more than the rumored 50 to 60 million euros to sign him, people. So it's looking a bit Bandulu and Bug there. FM Wonder Kid. I mean, Pavard said on his future, there are no concrete talks over a new contract. I have immense respect for Bayern. I'm not against discovering a new project. This means he's going to sign for United, isn't it? Maybe now's the time. Why not discover a new country? The sporting project has to be interested. I mean, you're French. Arsenal got a divine history with French players. You can play right back and centre half. Join us. In the final weeks of August, many clubs approached Shakhtar Donetsk regarding Mudryk. Arsenal approached Mudryk's agents in August, but never made an official bid and never decided to negotiate because they wanted more than 35 million euros. There's a chance for Mudryk to leave in January, but it depends on the price because when I see around 45 to 50, no, Shakhtar wants way more than this. They considered Mudryk one of the best talents in the world, especially in his position, says Romano. This is why they, in bracket Shakhtar, want 65 to 70 million for Mudryk, no less than this. The price would be really high. It's not for 50 million or something like that, so it's not easy to sign Mudryk. So the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, depending on what you believe, people. Special Arsenal target-handed World Cup call-up following Edu transfer meeting. Fernando Torres has been named in the Uruguay squad, people. And you did hear last weekend or whenever, Tony Lima, together with Torres' agent and transfer guru for Arsenal, Edu, sat down to talk about things. He's also drawing interest from clubs in Spain, Italy, and Germany. So we'll have to see what the 22-year-old is on, really. So, yeah, he's someone to watch an eye on. He shares the same agent as Pelisteri, who his agent was allegedly at Old Trafford. It's not quite working out for him. So January, they'll probably look to move him on or go somewhere. You know, shout out to Zinchenko for his gym, man. His gym looks lit. But anyways, away from that, moving on. Apparently, Arsenal and Man United have been looking at Bertrand Diaz, who scored in the Carling Cup the other week, and his contract is running down. Looks like a decent player, but everybody's scouting everyone. It doesn't mean that we're going for him, really, people. And there's a bag of clubs that are in for him, as you can see: Leeds, Bournemouth, Sevilla, Ajax, Union Berlin, Atalanta, Sassuolo, Salernitana, West Ham, Aston Villa, Palace, Spurs. Who's that? Tottenham Hotspur, whatever they said there. Typing there are Brighton and Hove Albion and everyone and their nan, really and truly, probably hashtag United as well. There is nothing, shout hashtag, there is nothing. 26 million ace insists he is not close to sealing Arsenal move, apparently, says Danilo. Apparently he's downplayed the prospects of the move. Now, again, it's not going to help him to come out and say things, really. So it could happen, it might not. But the man himself has said, about going abroad, there's still nothing. As I've always said, I leave it to my agents to sort out. I'm still focused on Palmeiras. And apparently Watford tried to go for him as well. So he squashed it because at this moment in time, there's probably not an official bid. 100%. Fabrizio Romano says, great player wanted by Arsenal will leave on a free. This just confirms that allegedly Yuri Tielemans will bust out on a free. It is quiet because he will not sign a new contract with Leicester. Smash the like button, YouTube ones. 100% he will leave on a free. He already decided 1 year ago. I see Tielemans leaving on a free, and I see Tielemans as a big opportunity in the market. He's underrated, he's young, he's talented, he's Premier League proven, he's a great midfielder in a position where it's hard to find top players. There'll be a big race. Arsenal wanted him in the summer, and other English clubs are exploring this race. So we'll have to see, man. Apparently, Mikel Arteta is talking up Fabio Vieira, who, you know, I do think Arsenal fans polarize opinion. He's the guy, he's not the guy. And I still believe in him, but you want to see more consistency. What has the gaffer said? I think in front of goal, he's been a little bit unlucky. He's trying the overhead kicks because the last 2 games, he could have scored a few goals. Every new player needs time to adapt and to play. We have asked him to play in different positions as well because of the needs we have in the team. I'm not worried at all. He's missed a big part because he came in and he was injured for 2.5 months. So he's missed the whole preseason. And I think that period now in the World Cup is going to make him very good. Shout out to him, really and truly. Carrying on this. Balogun's been speaking, people. Is this the longer sort of it? I think there's 2 bits, people. But he said... he wanted to test himself. He said, I had several leads in England, France, and Germany. When my agent told me that Reims were interested in me, I saw it as an opportunity. I've always liked to take risks. I'm not someone who plays it safe. The easiest solution would have been to stay in England, in the country I know, with my family and friends. That is what they encouraged me to do, but that didn't appeal to me. I really wanted to test myself, get out my comfort zone, and see how I'd react to the new challenge. I regret nothing. He then spoke about Pepe and Lacazette. Yes, I spoke with Lacazette and Pepe. It was Nicholas who set me the goal of scoring 10 goals, and he needs 2 more. I mean, Pepe, maybe you should become a coach. Maybe the football thing's not for you. He told me that it would not be bad for a start in Liga, and that I had the qualities to play in France. Hear that? And he said, I know that on social networks, some people call the French Championship the Farmers League, and then they want their clubs to sign all these players from the Farmers League. But I play in France now, and I can tell you that it's never easy. With Reims, I only play difficult and tight matches. I don't think we can call it a Farmers League with players like Messi and Neymar. Those comments come from people who don't understand football. I'd agree, but they're not necessarily wrong. He then spoke and said, on the way back in the car, I was trying to take dirt from between my studs when my dad gave me a business card, the one from a man that was speaking to him earlier, a scout from Arsenal, who had offered us to come for a trial. The following week, between that news and winning the tournament, I was delighted. I mean, this is when he signed for Arsenal, I guess. And apparently he was close to signing for Spuds. What a feeling. I couldn't believe it. He then said it lasted 5 to 6 weeks, but after 4 weeks, my dad got a phone call from Tottenham. They were also offering me one. We hesitated because Arsenal were meant to give us a decision soon. It was a bit delicate. In the end, my dad was taking me to Arsenal on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. The other days of the week, I was training with Spurs. It was intense because as well as playing for 2 teams, I was going to school. Of course, everything ended well since Arsenal eventually offered to sign me and we accepted. Shout out to you for that. What's this? Martinelli's been speaking allegedly, and yeah, he's very, very, very mature response from, you know, certain advisors and agents and people in Brazil talking nonsense. But I think this is normal. Some people in Brazil don't know me, and it's also normal that some other players deserve to be there. But I'm pretty cool about it. I think this is normal. I know what I'm doing at my club. I know my ability. I know what I can do, and you can be sure that I will do my best for the Brazilian team in whatever way I can help the team. I will help. It'll be a great experience for sure. He said everyone was very happy for us to be in the World Cup. It was good for Arsenal too to have players in the World Cup. Everyone was very happy. We're a very united team. Today, there was also a call up for Bukayo, Aaron, and Ben. Don't forget Turner and Partey and Xhaka and Tomiyasu, and I'm probably forgetting one as well. You know, so we are happy for each other. We know that we are at the top of the Premier League, but this is just the beginning, and we still have a lot of work to do. He then went on to say, I think this season, the number of fans with my shirt has grown a lot, but they've always supported me since I arrived. I'm very happy to see many people, men, women, children with my shirt. So I'm very proud to be able to repay some of what they do for me off the pitch. And that's what I'll always try to do. Sign the contract, big man, and that's more than enough. I think William Saliba has been talking. He targets Arsenal legendary status after World Cup call-up with France. You know, another one who I missed out to say with him. Saliba allegedly said, I want to be the next Frenchman to do that, like Perez, Vieira, or Henry. I mean, Arsenal won the World Cup. I'd love that headline again. I'm so happy and grateful to be in this squad. I wanted to be into it. But in France, we have a lot of good defenders. Trust that Benoit guy of Monaco won't be there long. You know, Fofana, a fit of Chelsea, well, he's not quite Canate or Saliba, but he might have been in the mix. I'm sure he's all right. You know, we need someone to help in the rondos in training and someone to clean you lot's boots. If I'm in the squad, it's because I had a good season with Arsenal. He then said, some people told me just an hour before on TV. We were in the warm-up, so I came back. I watched a little bit on my phone and saw my name. I was so happy. Shout out to you. First memory of the World Cup. It wasn't a good memory, but it's the first one I saw. He's thinking about the 06. You're 21. I'm 27. I remember that vividly. You know, that was 02 was my favorite World Cup. 06 was lit just because of how Zidane, you know, how it ended was a madness, but just how all the guys that were kind of on the way out were just balling. It was a crap year for Henry. Lost the World Cup and Champions League final, but get back season. I mean, there's got to be more because I'm sure there's been some more fallout comments from William Saliba as well. There's defo been some. There's defo been more comments from you, Saliba, because you spoke about your form in the last few weeks or something like that. I defo was reading something earlier, and you said you feel like you've been doing better now than a few weeks ago at Arsenal. And I liked his comments when he talked about his form at Monaco. My understanding, Arsenal could have to pay 35 million to sign relentless midfielder in January for Fabrizio Romano. Now, if you remember, Sekou Fofana has changed agents. You know, he looked dead set to be going PSG at one point. Good player, you know. Not really. Well, it's 27, 35 million. Lens could help us out a bit. But apparently he has said, I don't know yet where he'll end up, but I can give my current understanding of his situation. He also believes Arsenal and Liverpool are interested. He'd be a good signing. At the moment, it's still early, nothing advanced, but he can be an opportunity, not just for Premier League clubs, also in other leagues. His price tag could be around 40 million, so 35 million quid. And obviously he's played for Udinese. He's been at City before. So yeah, it is what it is. With that, so yeah, I don't quite think that's going to happen. And do you lot, once again, you can see the England squad here: Aaron Ramsdale, Pickford, Pope, Trent, Trippier, Stones, Kyle Walker, Maguire, Lull, Eric Dyer, Boo, Ben White, Connor Cody, there to be a chaperone. Make sure when everyone's got to be in their hotel at 7, he's going to be there. Luke Shaw, Gallagher, Phillips, Rice, Bellingham, Jude Bellingham, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, James Maddison, Phil Foden, Saka, Grealish, Victoria Beckham, Harry Keza, Raheem Sterling, Shelley-Ann Fraser, Marcus Rashford, and Callum Wilson. People, it's a bit of a Mazzolini still. It's not going to end well, but shout out them and them. Bellerin could be going to Roma or someone else. Apparently, Xavi's had enough of him, but latest time he said, I want to stay. So we'll have to see how that develops. Don't forget, people, Wolves Arsenal tomorrow. Make sure you've hit your like buttons and set your reminders. Also, don't forget, just before that, I'm watching City versus Brentford. Shameless plug o'clock. Martinelli. Well, right. You got the Daily Star. What are you lot doing? Well, I guess we're not watching that. I ain't signing up to you lot stuff. But anyways, people, Mykhaylo Arteta, well, we've seen that already as well. Let's recap on goal.com. Have we missed anything here? Once again, Arsenal allegedly already have an agreement with Yuri Tielemans in place, people, to join us as a free transfer. If you want Sekou Fofana between us and Liverpool, you have to rise up 35 million quid. Arsenal are prepared to shell out now 56 million for the services of Mudryk, if that makes sense, people. Dean Jones has spoken. Let's see if he's... What exactly have you said? That's Romano, but what have you said? I mean, I'm surprised Ben Jacobs ain't been spamming us with all of that. But you ain't said nothing that we haven't seen already. Again, Danilo's played down these moves. Arsenal considering a loan exit for Marquinhos, rightly so. Hopefully he can go play at good football, go play at a good level. It's a bit too hot and cold. Like in the Brighton game, showed he's not ready. Arsenal were linked a few days ago with Marcus Thuram. We also linked with Samuel Chukwueze of Villarreal, who's also been linked with Aston Villa. So has Jeremy Pino. We've also been linked with Cody Gakpo, Ibrahim Abamba. We spoke about Arsenal ahead of Barcelona in the Tielemans pursuit. Arsenal remain keen on sensational 65 million transfer, but they must act quickly. Zaha is probably a myth. Arsenal looking to nab Nabil Fekir, probably a bit too late in the day for that one now, man. Arsenal keeping tabs on Alex Buena, barely scratching the surface at Villarreal like that. I mean, we've been linked with Noah Okafor. I'm all right until I see significant improvements. We've been linked with Danilo. Atletico Madrid, foolishly, are being linked with Saliba. You know, you're not getting him. Kieran Tierney, rightly so, because he ain't been playing, been linked with a move away from Arsenal. Lol, it's the first time in his life at Arsenal he's had to deal with being a sideman. Allow it, man. Arsenal turned down the chance to sign Gilmando in the summer. We've allegedly received a boost in the Locatelli pursuit. I mean, I'm going to stop as soon as Nelson wants to commit to the club. I mean, I think we're going back too far. We're lit with Fernando Torres. With that, I've gone all the way back to October. That's that, innit, man. Make sure you've hit the like button, people, if you haven't already. Appreciative in advance. But yeah, that seems to be the latest sort of news connected to Arsenal. What are you lot saying? Because I've slightly been airing you. All Mudryk doubters, he played decent against Madrid. You need more than that. I wonder which players going to break through during the World Cup. Reps are there to be made. Amen. Did you find out what was wrong? Not really. The most I know is that it's on StreamYard's end, but seems to be all right now. So hopefully we're back on task. I mean, to be fair, Vieira's been at times he's been better than others, but I expect him to struggle with consistency. He's young, he's playing catch up because he was injured, he's learning and that. You know, we've signed him to be a good player for us for years. I'm not going to write a man off in a few months. Pardon me. And I believe I've seen enough from Vieira to be encouraged. I just think you need to go gym naturally. You know, you just need to get up to speed with things. You know, a bit like Lokonga. With Lokonga, I just think you need, first thing is it's more of a confidence. In fact, I'm more worried about Lokonga because I don't question Fabio Vieira's confidence. You don't look confident in yourself. And I think Vieira just looks a better fit for Arsenal at this moment in time. You know, Lokonga isn't really good enough to justify the language system he really comes with. He hasn't taken his chances as a 6 or an 8. Probably need to go on loan unless something changes dramatically. But I won't write off Lokonga. I do think there is a player in there, but it's going to need to get out of there sooner rather than later. To be honest, Milinkovic, Savic, Tielemans, and Tony will take Arsenal to around the next level. They will cost around 150 million in total, if you say so, bro. He looks lit, man. I'm the 90th person to hit the like button. Appreciate that. Let's get to 150 in the next few minutes. Ahmed, you're too kind. Fabrizio, rubbish the bid. Would you go back in for Neto, DG, and Jan, or are you put off by his injuries? His injuries are a concern. If you could, I don't really think he's worth 50 million. But if he shows his development, then why not? And I think he's back playing and playing quite all right. Can't lie, I want Ruben Neves, man. Like he's every week I watch Match of the Day, he seems to be scoring, and he is a player I got a lot of time for. Like it's not that he doesn't do anything amazing, but I got time for them. He just keeps things ticking over, just does things to a decent standard in a way you don't really miss him. Like obviously he's a different player than Partey, but if you had him and Partey that could play as the unofficial sixes or just options in midfield, we could be all right, man. Go on in it for another year. It's calm. Squad being short is on you, Arteta and Edu. Not getting rid of Deadwood properly and not addressing areas of need is the reason we are short. The board needs to be serious and get this Tielemans deal done and dusted as soon as possible. Shout out the YouTube members and see, as she said, gotta get the likes over 100 guys. It's true about the standards, but like I said to my boy, you always, I think you mean you always push for the title and the drop-offs leaves you in top 4. No guarantees, of course, and realistically not where we are. I hear that. P, I'm doing great. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope you lot have had a great week and you've moved that much closer to, you know, your goals. Wait. The question was Europa League or top 4. I'd rather get top 4 because that shows me more consistency over a 38-game calendar. But at the same time, if I was a footballer and you offered me that, I'd rather win the Europa League. As a football fan, 10 years from now, I'm not going to talk about Arsenal in 2022, assuming they got top 4. I'm going to talk about the Europa League. It does giving you the avenue to get there. So, yeah, man. I just need to see a certain level of consistency over a 38-game period. Yeah, Sev just recently got started. Louis Van Gaal was adamant if you're not starting consistently, you ain't getting in. Why Timber didn't go United and probably why Donny van der Beek, Gravenbeck, and a couple others with spare thought for Dan Zuma. There's definitely one other Dutch youth that's not involved. But I mean, Gravenberch is a baby, respectfully, not to be condescending. He's a baby in football in terms. There was rumors Camavinga's not going to be there. Apparently he is. You know, Gabriel's older than him. You man can play at Euros and World Cups and all these other things soon. Or, you know, you're very young. It's not like if you're Sergio Ramos, if you're Lionel Messi, if you're, well, Ronaldo could be playing to his 70, but, you know, time's kind of ticking on to a degree. Firmino, not in the Brazil squad, 31 years of age. How old is Thiago Alcantara? Because last time I'm pretty sure I didn't see him or Fabian Ruiz in the Spain squad. It's a bit mad. Still 31, 32 next year. So you could get another one, but it's brazy. I don't know why the Evening Standard are trying to say no. They've said no Ramos, Cucurella, Thiago Alcantara in the Spain squad. There's no need to put Cucurella's name next to them, man. Them man are good. He's a great YouTuber. He's not a very good fullback, is he? I don't know about that. Vieira only really started playing regularly when Diaz left for Liverpool in Jan. Love for the super chat, Vegas Gunner. Hope you're doing well and safe. Thank you for your support. We may only get Danilo and Fogundo in January. Pepe and Marie's future still aren't sorted. On a high wages, what do you think? I mean, you're just hoping that Pepe's taken permanently. Marie, again, we're all big up to him because you all know the unfortunate things. We just have to hope Monza stays in Serie A because then they have an obligation to buy him. If not, you've on paper, you've still with options to buy, but you've still got Saka, Saliba, Martinelli contracted until 2024. You've still got Pepe, as you said, Marie, probably a couple of others. So we're gonna have to deal with it. How Ruiz didn't get into that squad, I don't know. He's injured. So how long's he out for? I don't know. Yo, DG, got a couple of questions. With our back four and Partey being solid up front, I still feel we only need to add goals to our team. With that being said, do you think we should grab a centre mid, winger, or striker? To be fair with you, you need all of them. But things can change, man. There's new improved foundations, and I won't say papering over the cracks, but are we letting form and performance kind of cloud judgment and put levels? I still think, if Partey isn't there, you're in trouble. You have to also, as great as the first team back 4 or 5, including Ramsdale, they're young. They're going to do brain farts. Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, they're going to do dumb ish. There's going to be a time Ben White does really well against Chelsea. I think of one thing I really like about Ben White. He wants to go forward with the ball. Sometimes he overdoes it. Sometimes you're going to do that. The other team's going to go down the back of the net and score, Hey, I don't know what you're doing, my guy. But I think you need all of them. Probably long-term, January. What if you can start the scan? Probably summer and beyond. If you could get a striker, I don't see us bringing one in. That harshly is better than Eddie and maybe better than Jesus. Easier said than done. I would like a winger that could play on the left and the right. I would like a centre middle 3. I've always said, if it was up to me from now till the summer, which it's not, and it's easy for me to sit here and talk about it, I would like, if you could just say DG wish list for this squad without talking about outgoings and personnel, 2 8s, a 6, probably a right back and a left back, a left-sided centre back. Matt Turner, I'll give you the luxury, but identify a backup keeper, a winger that can play on the left and the right, and probably a striker that's a bit different to what we have. He's out for 12 to 16 weeks. So, yeah, that's probably why Fabian Ruiz is not there. So, he's not touching that. Zaha, Madders, and Neves. New sub after seeing your video about True Geordie. Appreciate that, my dude. Appreciate you for checking that out. Finally, a content creator who just speaks the truth, no pandering for clicks and shit. I can't claim credit for that. There's plenty of them out there, man. Appreciative for your kind words of support, my dude. To be honest, a lot of our success this season comes down to not shooting ourselves in the foot. Amen. But the brain farts are still there. Saka on Time Magazine, you dig? I love that. Keep going. I hope they paid him. Well. Arsenal should switch up starting Zinchenko and Tini. I want them to stay. I mean, the collective comes first. When we're winning games and we're allegedly top of the table and these things, I don't really care. It's when we're not in form and players are not doing their jobs. Then I look at Arteta and say, "What could this guy get a chance or that guy get a chance?" I said it in the summer, and some of you have been here, and you could probably go back and quote me. The collective comes first. I don't care about no one's personal situation, who does or doesn't make the World Cup per se, who is unhappy or not happy. No one should be happy if you're not playing. The collective comes first. All I care about is Arsenal as a minimum back in that Champions League for the 2023-24 season. If that is not here, despite the good form and the new contracts being given, there has to be question marks of the manager, the owner, the technical director, and ultimately the players. In the same way you do it, praise. And I really like what we're doing so far. Come on, man. Shout out ArsenalBuzz.com, man. DG panders to the fullback union. Don't think he does. Don't think he doesn't. Of course, we're the most important on the football pitch, mate. Do you think this is? Where do you think Arsenal will finish if Mudryk and Danilo sign? I don't think it's as white and black as that. I hope between first, second, third, fourth. Obviously, for obvious reasons, you'd love to win the league title. It goes without saying. But without talking about the fact of winning a trophy for that, I just want Champions League football, bro. I don't think I'm asking for much, man. Facts, DG, as long as we're winning, I don't care who is starting. Amen. It's not really a whole team, but that's where we need to go to. in the short and medium term, you need to address the middle of the park out wide. You need a left-sided centre-back, or let's just say another centre-back. You probably do need another right-back as well with Tomiyasu's injury record and the fact that Tomiyasu, Ben White, Zinchenko, probably going to become these hybrid Pep Guardiola sort of players when under Arteta, where they can play a lot of roles. We completely forget Zinchenko has not really been given a sniff officially in the middle of the park. Yeah, he goes there in real time. You see him pop up everywhere, but he's a centre mid. When he signed for this club, Mykhaylo Arteta said he's a 10, he can play out wide, and obviously he's found a role for himself at left back. Realistically, we've got about 15 players. Real genuine options, 15 players that we could say we believe in. You need a 25-man squad or a 22-man odd squad. So you do need to sign 7 to or so. And again, you look at our midfield. I'm not saying they're going to be done anytime soon, but you've got a very young defense in terms of longevity. The same goes up front, middle of the park. 3 key midfielders this season: El Nene, Xhaka, Partey, all 29, turning 30. So realistically, you need to phase El Nene out, He can stay and be part of like a spare part in the club next season. He's experienced. We might be in the Champions League, but you need that long-term 6. You probably need an 8 better than Xhaka and someone else in case Xhaka cannot play, respectfully to Xhaka. Evidently we can all see if you can bring in a winger, a striker, or someone that can be the best of both. Fair enough. You need another centre-back, preferably one that's stronger on the left-hand side. You probably do need a left and right back. If you can, Matt Turner's doing his thing, but you do need to probably look at a backup goalie if he does not show himself. I think I've spelled it out very easily personally, but fair enough. We still need a body, man, but we're not going to do that. I can't see us doing that from January, summer. It'd probably be something that's January, summer, and then next Jan. So Jan 2024 sort of thing. Jan 2024. So almost 2 years in relation to that. So, yeah, you know what I mean by next year. I know it's 2023 next year, but still. The only way to evolve this squad. And then obviously, if other players can show that they can do things, like I want to see Smith Rowe be able to play off the left, but be a 10 and an 8. The same goes for Fabio Vieira. Same goes for Zinchenko. Odegaard is the one right now I think should be molded into an 8. If we do that, then obviously you can get away with things. We need a 6. If Lokonga can wake up tomorrow and he becomes a competent 8 or a 6 or both, great. But if not, revisit that. If I could wake up tomorrow and someone involved at Arsenal could show that they could fight Gabriel for that left-sided centre-back or play instead of him, fair enough. And so on and so forth. If Eddie shows that he can be a backup striker and offer something, I more want someone better than Eddie if he doesn't show anything, but I more want someone with a different profile. I think if we could have a target, man, someone that we can knock balls into their chest and they can hold it up and help us relieve pressure away from home would be a lot, man. Bro, you're not listening. They don't all have to be starters, but to complement the squad, you have a squad of 15. Like, evidently Arsenal have a squad of 15, 16. And when you start shaving it, I don't know how long-term the futures of players like Cedric or El Nene, Lokonga's in the balance, Marquinhos and Reece Nelson are in the balance. Start shaving down the depth of this side. Like I said, in an ideal world, in a realistic term, bring me a midfielder, a couple of midfielders and a winger, and we can keep it moving. But ignorance is bliss, man. If I felt, I respect you lot's opinion, but honestly, if I thought like you lot, I'd be saying the same things. Not to talk my shit, but I can't lie. There are some things I'm 100% right on that this is one, and a lot of what I tell you, Mykhaylo Arteta says it as well, but I don't tell you lot what to think, just think, man. Come on, shout Bumpy Johnson. Shout my Bayesians, mate. Shout my the flags downstairs. I put in the wash, but come on. Shout the Bayesians, mate. City's squad isn't as deep as some think, but it's filled with almost everything you need. Yeah, because you lot make it harder for yourself to start cutting some out, but they've got depth. Worried about Jesus. I mean, if we stop scoring goals, then yeah, of course. And I want Jesus to score, but I think the goals will come. It's still the one thing you kind of judge over him, but yeah, man, I think he fits us well, as long as, again, I don't like to look at other people's situations, and you have to give Chelsea the tax of, players at the Chelsea that no one's really performing apart from Thiago Silva, but Jesus is even sounding more confident. Not yesterday, but the other day we spoke about, we covered his comments, and he said, I feel comfortable as a 9. I feel more confident as a 9. That always hasn't been said. So He's given himself that, and that was a carrot to join Arsenal. But also, Mikel Arteta is giving him every reason to believe he's that. Obviously, goals aren't really there, but he started well and he affects the game without necessarily scoring. It's not like, you know, Sterling historically better off that left-hand side, running into space. Chelsea right now, they're trying to make him take on people off the right-hand side. So I wouldn't say I'm worried. I'm worried if everybody stops scoring and our striker's not scoring. Like I don't think he's anything like Lacazette. He's a super player, great player. But if I look at it on a harsh thing, I want to praise my striker for working hard, for linking up play and everything else. But I need goals as well. And, you know, he will go in droughts again. You know, strikers, even, well, unless you're Messi and Ronaldo, historically, you're not going to start scoring from August and done in May. And even if they've had it. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Seeing the goals, especially the first and second goals for Brighton, we got to let go of Holding as a backup centre-back. He's a utility centre-back. Last 15, 10 minutes, 5 at the back, part of the bus, but not good enough in the 4. He isn't like, I like how Holding plays. He likes to step in front, and he stepped in front to find Nelson, who obviously found his fellow Haylender in Eddie, but stepping out way too much. And we made 10 changes. It's a disjointed back 5. Obviously, you probably would see a better Rob Holding if, you know, you had, you know, certain people to you, but she's moving mad, really. Ivan Toney a shout. Bring Ivan Toney, but he's going to cost bread, bro. How many reaction vids do you have on your YouTube? Was that the first time you've put one up on the True Geordie video? Reactions to what? Probably quite a few still, but I'm not really one for them sort of things. But if that's what you lot want, I'll keep doing it, really. But I don't really like to talk on other situations and things. I like to focus, but some things are bigger than us, and definitely where someone's talking that hot trash out their mouth, they deserve that, really and truly. At the end of the day, with Laka Oba up front, we were 5th in the league. With Jesus, we're 1st. Very dense view of looking at it, but Jesus has always been a confidence. Every player's a confidence player, really. Everyone's going to lose confidence, man. Everybody. Everyone in the City squad is there with the intent to start matches. The only backup players are used. There's no dead weight like Cedric, who are happy to be a bit part. We definitely need a long-term DM for Xhaka and El Nene, says Clement. We do need to strengthen. I'm willing to bet money, but by the summer of 2024 that you will see a striker. And again, if some of these players can develop and plug these gaps, but fair play, I'm betting to bet you lot anything, especially lot that disagree, because I genuinely believe it. You will see probably a right back and a left back at some point, or the majority of these things. You will see a centre back. You will see 2 to 3 centre mids, to the minimum. I'm willing to bet on that the most. You will see a striker and a winger. You might see a backup keeper, depending on Ramsdale. Turner. As I said, if players can develop and make names for themselves and things like that, fair play. Off topic, I know he's playing great off the left wing, but I'm not prepared to give up on Operation Martinelli through the middle as well. Operation Martinelli, the option of being able to play through the middle. I'm willing to bet so much money on this. But I have that. But yeah, Arsenal should splash the cash, make a loan or something, aim for the title. If that fails, we land on the top 4. Our whole 4 of Gabby Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Martin Odegaard cost us around 80 million, and United spent 86 million on Anthony alone. It's good for United. Would you take Peters? I mean, the fullback ain't really priority like that, but I just wonder how long, and not really. Tielemans on the free or cut price during January transfer window. I could see that, but you're seeing that Leicester want 20 to 25 million. Weren't that kind of the similar fee that they wanted from Arsenal in the summer? If you're not going to pay that where in the summer, why are you going to pay it when the man's got a matter of months? Marquinhos and Sambi both need loans next season. Provided there's no significant development with either player, then I wholeheartedly agree, my dude. Wholeheartedly. But we need bodies. That's the only thing. Like, even letting people go on loan in January, you could make a case that Lokonga could go somewhere, play some games. Marquinhos, the same. Maybe some others. But if there's no bodies, then it doesn't really make sense. We need bodies. We can't afford to leave ourselves short again. I know Jesus is contributing a lot to the team, but, you know, it doesn't really make sense, because the season's not done. Like, the season isn't done. Doesn't really matter. Like, they, you know, Lacazette and Aubameyang contributed immensely, as has Jesus. I've got a lot of time for them, but just making comments for the sake of it slightly, man. Should we circle the? Appreciate your opinion, regardless. Though, should we circle the block for some Arsenal comments or news? Come on, lie to us. Tell us Messi wants to join us after the World Cup, man. Come on, man. Lie to us. Lie to us. Show us some lies. Ooh. Don't know why that's made the paper. I'm not talking on content creators that are coming out of prison. People can live their lives, I guess, but boy, sad. Doesn't seem like there's anything new where Arsenal's concerned, people. At all. But, I mean, we can look at this on goal.com. I cried a lot. Martinelli reveals emotional reaction to Brazil World Cup call-up. Pardon me, I cried a lot. I was with my family and on the phone, but I needed to turn the phone off and call them later because I couldn't even talk. As you should, bro. This is what dreams are made of. In 2019, you was in the 4th division in Brazil. In 2020, pardon me, you won an Olympic gold medal with Brazil. You also had a long-term injury. In 2022, you're living the dream of being called up. Like all of us, we're not footballers, people. You know, we're not footballers, but who didn't dream of representing anyone at the World Cup? Of course you should cry, bro. And you're still respectfully a baby in footballing's terms. Of course you should. Emotional moment for you. And your national honor in that, bro. Man are there with, in 2019 in the 4th division, if you told man you're going to be there with Gab Jesus, Neymar, and the rest of them, you probably said that you're smoking crack. This is what life is. Life can change in an instant. I'm so sure Jesus had something similar as well. I'm very happy. It's one of the most important moments in my life and in my family's life as well. I'm buzzing. I'm so excited to go there and be part of this team. He then said, Mykhaylo Arteta, he was so happy for me. I think my Arsenal form has been so important because if I was not playing good at Arsenal, I cannot be called up. That's why I'm here, because I'm doing well with the club. And again, remember that. It's very easy, I suppose, to get imposter syndrome. But remember, obviously, you're not better than Neymar and that. But you're there because the manager believes you can contribute something. You're not there to be a tourist. You probably are because you're going to be a wild card. I hope you come off the bench and that, probably not starting. Rough. So, yeah, it is what it is. Xhaka said, I was born like a striker. Reveals the secret behind goal-scoring exploits. Yeah, we need to know this. You know, what are you doing? I was born like a striker. No, really. Until 12 or 13, I was playing like a striker and they put me in midfield. Now you know that. So let's see how many people talk about it. Fair enough. You know, Lacazette was talking about being a goalie and Pepe as well. Maybe Arsenal should stop signing attacking players that speak about previously being goalies. But yeah, that's what he said. He said, I'm not surprised because in pre-season, I had a good feeling at how everything was working, the team spirit we built. And I mean, it's Mykhaylo Arteta's coaching. Obviously, you've played like this before. You know, go back to Wenger when he said you can be a box-to-box man. But in the whole of 2022, Xhaka has been one of Arsenal's more important players, and consistent is the better word. This year, obviously, with the scoring and that is great, but you've seen him, Martinelli, all over the field, individually and collectively. Mykhaylo is showing the coaching thing. But yeah, he said the team spirit we built then was something I didn't have at this club until now. I knew this season could be special, could be a special one for everyone, for ourselves, for the club. It's not done yet, though, Granite, as you know, better than me. So, yeah, again, this is just from my personal reading. But, yeah, man, shout out to Granite Xhaka for that one. Let's change the timestamp so you lot can see that. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. To be fair, Maguire was a striker for the Red Devils. The other week, anything could happen. Jesus gets a lot of game time for Brazil, given the talent they have in forward lines. Amen. Shout out Dermot. Martinelli's story should be a movie. So should Benzema's. In fact, I'd pay good money to watch Giroud's movie, life story as a movie, and Vardy's, to be fair. DG, how does Arteta and Eddie decide which is the bigger window, January or the summer? Well, you'd imagine the summer because you're more planning for the whole season ahead in a nice way. You don't really have to want to buy in January. January is a reactive window. We're short on bodies in midfield, or maybe at some clubs, some players want to leave or whatever. It's a reactive window. It's difficult to do business anyway. So I would say the summer. But then if you flip that and you could say this time last year, well, you know what I mean, assuming we're in January, Spurs got a boost with what they did in the January transfer market. We didn't get nothing because we didn't bring nothing. So maybe you could say that. But I would imagine summer because you've got longer to plan. Like the bulk of who Arsenal are probably going to, and all these clubs are going to bring in next summer, they're probably on the board at London Coley right now. So I would say that, man. Every single video on YouTube is about football. Surely you've intended on trying to gain views by uploading that True Geordie reaction on YouTube. Do you not think that's a bit ingenuous or opportunistic? Dope. I think one thing's first is you're being a hypocrite because you just praised it. No, because if you actually watched it, you would know that that's cut up from a live stream that I did already. Two, you're lying because you can see not only a bunch of football, you can see me talk on a lot of racial subjects, whether it's been content creators, football media, society, etc. But if you just rocked up here, it is what it is. So I don't know what you're on about. You have not done your research. You have not done anything. I can tell you for a fact I've got over 7,000 videos on YouTube. All of them are not all about football, but ignorance is bliss. At whatever point you're trying to make, maybe that's a true Geordie burner. I don't know what you're on about, but fair enough. God bless you. Have a great Friday, my guy. You're wrong though. You're wrong. You could type in everything. You could, when it comes, not that I'm no hero fighter, but I've always said football mirrors society and society mirrors football. Anything, even down to the England women's scandal the other day. You know, I say the other day, a year or so ago. You can go and type in my name and you can go find that if you look hard enough. You know, several contentious subjects. Like someone said, not that I want any praise for it, but I'm one of the only YouTubers that will speak on certain things because I'm not trying to shut up about things. So I don't know what it is. If I was gaining views, if you go and look at what grows my YouTube, it's actually what we're going to be doing tomorrow, the watch along. So I can sit back and be easy. I understand it. But yeah, don't make no sense. You're not coming with evidence. Save yourself a paragraph. Go and do proper research. In the same way we're talking about Arsenal doing correct scouting, you need to go and do your research and come with some facts. It's a myth. God bless you, though, man. God bless you. Have a great day, man. Have a great day. Have a great day, Killy. So, yeah, man. I don't know what you tried to do there. And then you said, how many reaction videos do you have on YouTube? Again, go and do your research, man. Go and do your research. Don't know what you're on about there, but do never ever try that again in your life. But God bless you, man. Anyways, moving on from that. Man, don't know about DG Thoughts either. This is why I like the people, because they can see it. They can see it. Anyways, away from that, man, these are not the sort of individuals, you know. Considering, look, you're on Twitch, you've been following since January. Definitely since January, we've covered a lot of things. So, yeah, man, you're just going to get blocked. You're not the sort of people we preach here of being open-minded, respecting each other based on who they are, regardless of who they are, religion, background, sexual orientation, all them sort of things there. But this is why I like being a person of the people. By no means am I a freedom fighter, but you get it, man. I used to pray for times like this to shine like this. Hey, is that TR Trizzy? Yeah, man, Deluded, Gooner on both of them, Mykhaylo. Both of them, man. I don't know what he tried to do there, bro. You know, as I always say, I'd rather not talk about it. Like, but it had to be spoken on, like half these things. Of course, people are gonna watch it because it's a trending topic, just like with racism. But yeah, these are what grow my channel. You could actually go on Social Blade and go and pre that now. It's pretty damn transparent. But yeah, tomorrow 6:45 people. It's Arsenal Wolves. So I'll be there. Tomorrow from noon, or better yet, 12:15 p.m. tomorrow UK time. I'm gonna watch City versus Brentford. Come on, City. Hey, big up my guy C as well, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Leave him. Leave him. Mudryk is a gunner. Not if you ain't got bread to put down. Not if you ain't got bread to put down. Until I see Mudryk holding the shirt, he's a myth, man. He's a myth. Already seen that. What else have we got? What other comments have we got? Low-key want Ainsley Maitland-Niles to flourish as a defensive mid for Saints so we can get him back. Hey, Lembars. I do as well, but it's gone, man. The boat's gone, man. Tony should do up the Jamaica thing. It's looking too late, man. I look at Ivan Tony. In fact, well, you wouldn't be going anywhere this World Cup, but you look at people like Hudson-Odoi, Eddie Nketiah. Man could have been part of the Ghana squad. I'm forcing it a bit because Tomori should be in the England squad. I remember watching England's youth, you playing for Canada against England. If you done the Canada thing, where you might be chilling with Alphonso Davies getting rid and Jonathan David and them kind of man right now. But you know, I'm sure they've all got their reasons. They might be doing what they need to do. I'd like for Arsenal to go for Tony up front as well. I would love Tony in the squad, but again, he's going to be priced out of any move. You ever gonna have what? I think you mean you're ever gonna have interviews with footballers, like podcasts and chill. Bring the footballers, man. Line up the interviews. Weird, man. Is this live on Twitch now? Yeah, it is. Yeah, Meek says that as well. And like his dream chaser sign. Ask Rainbridge how he felt to get cheated on. Brother T, you're moving mad, man. You're moving mad. You're moving mad. Of course, probably rattled, but can't let them feelings kill you. Of course, it's disrespectful. Like, again, like a couple of players have kind of just done it and got into the club. So, of course, if I was a manager, I'd have a difficult decision, because imagine that if I asked the player, do you want to play for whatever country? We've now qualified for the World Cup. Whatever country he's got his heart set on playing in, pardon me, they've said no to you. Now you want to come and play for us. I'll be like, kind of like, fuck you then, because the other guys were part of this. But at the same time, if they're a good player, why not? It's a bit like Nico Williams and things like that. You know, you have to ask someone like Zaha. Listen, I can never say people not proud of their countries. Forget football from a heritage point of view. But playing devil's advocate, had it have worked out for Zaha when he was at United or when he was coming up in the game, he would not be playing for Ivory Coast. Why? Because he's been playing for England as a youth, man. He played for England technically, and he switched up the rotor. So it is what it is. Recommend the FA scandal doc through your Netflix. What, FA got a scandal as well? I thought only FIFA had one. I'll watch both of them then. Why not? Why not? Sounds lit still. I got my free sub. I'll go over there now. And love, broski. What other things have we missed out? We ain't missed out nothing, have we? We ain't missed out anything. No. We ain't. Where's the raid button? But yeah, man, there's no point wasting any more of you lot's time, people. Again, unfortunately, yesterday Twitch gang was there, but for whatever reason, there was some technical difficulties disallowing StreamYard to connect with my YouTube channel. I don't know what was going on. It was, obviously you lot more see it on you lot side, but when it says waiting for Deluded, I was live and it's still saying you lot are waiting. Hopefully that is now put to the past because we're here now. As I said, tomorrow we're watching Wolves against Arsenal, 6:45 start. Before that, we're going to watch Brentford against City against Brentford from 12:15. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. And when the World Cup rocks along, which is in like just over a couple of weeks, if that, we're going to be doing watch-alongs for that. But, it's the last week of Premier League football until Boxing Day and December, better yet. So, yeah, as usual, appreciate you lot support day in, day out, week in, week out, etc. People couldn't have done it without you. If you haven't hit the like button on YouTube, subscribe or turn on your notifications, do the same. Make sure you're following on Twitch as well. Don't miss any Football Manager content. Most importantly, I hope you lot have a great Friday off the back of a great week. Hope you and your loved ones remain in continued good health. And I hope when next week rolls around, if I don't see you lot, it's even bigger and better things, man. Appreciate you lot. I'm out. Make sure you check out my descriptions for timestamps, for all my socials, Deluded Gooner 04 and everything more time. Obviously, check out the playlist on my channel as well. But for now, peace.
You always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like. You always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like. You always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like.